And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
4 female boxers joined forces to demand that Josh Hokett be removed from combat sports. First, Claressa Shields. As a black woman, Shields said Hokett's comments were insulting and based on harmful stereotypes about black women. She posted a 10-minute video criticizing him and urged UFC President Dana White to take action. Second, Katie Taylor. Taylor believes combat sports should be built on respect. She said making such offensive comments at the White House hurt the image of the sport. She called for a blacklist to make sure Hokett never gets a chance to enter professional boxing. Third, Amanda Serrano. Serrano knows how hard women have worked to earn respect in combat sports. She said Hokett should face serious punishment for repeatedly targeting black women. She also wanted future TV contracts to include anti-discrimination clauses to prevent similar incidents. Fourth, Alicia Baumgardner. The current unified women's super featherweight champion was the first to speak out. She directly tagged UFC executives on social media and condemned what she described as Hokett's clownish behavior. She said she could not tolerate the malicious demeaning of female athletes and public figures through sexist and racist attacks that strip them of their dignity. Do you think the UFC will eventually give in to the pressure and hand Hokett a lifetime ban?
The truth about Josh Hokett is he's overrated.
That nigga sucks.
He really hasn't been tested well in the heavyweight division, and that's honestly not saying much because that division is so garbage. There's only a few good guys: Cyril Gane, Tom Aspinall, Alex Pereira. That's pretty much it. His best fight was Curtis Blades, and Derek Lewis wasn't a challenge at all. Derek Lewis is on his way out. He's just fighting for money.
Okay, but like y'all do realize Josh Hokett is completely playing a character, right? That's clear to y'all? I mean, it may not land for everybody, but the analogy is Hayden Deegan. He's doing the same thing in MMA that Hayden Deegan is doing in motocross, where everyone behind the scenes, Bobby Reagan at Star Yamaha, everyone says Hayden Deegan is the most humble, quiet, hardworking, likable kid at the star track behind the scenes. But on race day, he's a complete punk. Why? Because he's playing a character, because it's good for the team, it's good for him, it's good for views, it's good for the sport, drives everything up when he's marketable. I think the same goes for Hokett. I think he knows good and well that if he's able to put on this character that's super polarizing, that a lot of people hate and a lot of people love, and the people who hate it and the people who love it are going at each other all the time, disagreeing about it, that is objectively a good thing for Hokett's popularity. It's objectively a good thing for the UFC. It's objectively a good thing for the heavyweight division, all of this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the UFC likes Josh Hokett very much. I think they're extremely excited for him to lose. Cough, cough, Pereira taking his head off in the next matchup. Anyway, but yes, he is essentially rage baiting the entirety of the MMA fan base, and about 50% of you, actually probably a lot higher, are taking the bait hook, line, and sinker. He's playing a character. The whole Incredible Hulk thing, this is his Marshall Mathers and Slim Shady. It's an alter ego. It's completely fake. Please don't let him rage bait you into thinking, are you serious? Did he go? No, it's a character. It's a freaking character. Do I like it? Not necessarily, but you need to acknowledge it's a character. It's fake. Don't let it drive your emotions super high. It's a freaking character. Have a great day.
And obviously, Barack and Michelle Obama are public figures. And when you're a public figure, I mean, you guys know, it's part of the gig. But what I don't like, first of all, former First Lady of the United States, number one. Number two, a wife, a mother. It's gross, inappropriate, the timing of it and everything. Obviously not the opinion of the UFC and not my opinion or anybody else that fought on that card. And it was a really unfortunate thing to happen that night. When you hit this grand slam home run and have a perfect event in every way that it could be, you got a moronic, it just, ugh. But, other than that, it was a great night.
Yeah,
what are you going to do? Left and right can both look at that. You can't tell me that everybody on the right went, yeah, she's a man. People were like, what an idiot. Anyway,
We'll move on.
I could go mental on this show right now, but I won't. But it was just, it was gross. It was just,
And this guy refused to apologize to Michelle. He's saying it was just a joke.
Michelle Obama is overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing. I was just joking with her, just a harmless comment with no bad intent. But she took it and framed it as racism and a personal attack, which is not how I meant it at all. I'll admit, saying that inside the White House wasn't very respectful. But anyone who knows me knows I've always made jokes like this after winning matches or in casual situations. It's just how I talk sometimes. I've even said worse things before, and it was never turned into something this serious. I was just trying to lighten the mood a bit. What I said is, Nothing close to the kind of trash talk athletes throw at each other before games. So I don't understand why this one comment is being singled out. Is it because her last name is Obama? Or because of her skin color? When did everything in the U.S. start getting turned into racial politics like this? I can apologize and accept consequences if needed, but I still don't think I did anything wrong.
Fans are requesting UFC to fire Josh Hokett after mocking Michelle Obama. Things are getting tough, you know? And they are saying if Dana White did not fire Josh Hokett, they will do something.
Genuinely curious, why does Trump love Derek Lewis so much? Like Colby I get, Masvidal I get. Where did the Derek Lewis love come from for Donald Trump?
He's a fan. He likes Derek Lewis. He likes his personality. He likes the way he fights. I don't know. I mean, what makes us a fan of anybody, you know? I don't know what it is, but the president loves Derek Lewis.
And you just said you won't criticize Josh for his character work, but if he's on the White House lawn saying some of this dumb shit, is any part of you going to be like, ah?
Yeah, probably. But then once he gets in the cage, we'll forget all about it.
Dana, what was Donald Trump's reaction to that fight? Because, like, obviously...
Everybody was going crazy. I mean, everybody was going crazy. Everybody's saying it's one of the greatest heavyweight fights they've ever seen. Everybody on that side of the cage.
Co-main event, what did you make of Paolo's performance in there? Looked like he kind of just came out like a bat out of hell in the third round for that finish.
Yeah. I mean, what an impressive win for him, too. You know, the guy was 16-0 and very confident that he was going to beat Costa. And
I was just thinking about it, but like, I wonder how much Josh Hokett is going to lose out on like brand endorsements, sponsorships, and just any type of money outside of the UFC. Like, yes, all the controversial things he says are going to grow his brand inside the UFC. He's probably going to make a shit ton more money in the UFC than most people who have a similar amount of fights. Like, that's just how it is because he sells fights like a motherfucker because a lot of people do not like the dude. But the thing is, like, a lot of these UFC fighters are making double what they make in the UFC from sponsorships, or even more than that. I wouldn't be surprised if guys were making 5 or 10 times what they make in the UFC based off sponsorships. And there's going to be this influx of new fighters trying to recreate what Josh Hokett did, like, and be just controversial just for the sake of doing it so they can extend their UFC career or even just get to the UFC. But you have to think about like the White House card. Like, Josh Hokett used it as a chance to be even more controversial, to get people talking about him. But he could have used it as a way to grow his brand and market himself so that he is like a good sellable thing for fucking brands, you know, to get all these sponsorships, to get all this money. And like, he might lose out on a ton of money in the end, even though he's making more money from the UFC.
Sarah, you know, why is it so hard for Trump to say that this was wrong when it was obviously offensive and wrong, and people who may share his politics are very clearly saying such?
I think expecting Trump to say or do the right thing is useless and disappointing. Look, this is the guy who posted a racist meme of the Obamas depicted as monkeys. This is a guy who posts memes depicting himself as Jesus Christ. There's no decency or decorum in this White House. And when the White House was asked for comment, they also praised the performer, or praised the performance of the fighter. They didn't comment on it. They had every opportunity to condemn it. And yes, it's nice hearing folks like Dave Portnoy and Dana White come out and denounce this attack. But it shouldn't take a pressure campaign from people on the right to get the president to do the right thing. You should immediately condemn something like this. Something really interesting, though, is that we have seen Trump willing to condemn conspiracy theories like this. He did it with President Macron of France and his first lady, his wife, when she faced similar accusations of being a man. Candace Owens saying it. President Trump came out and said that that wasn't true and condemned it. But then he can't do the same thing for Michelle Obama. Makes you wonder what's the difference between those two women in his eyes. Think that it is really pathetic of this administration, and it's really pathetic of that White House spokesperson. As a former deputy press secretary myself, I would be embarrassed to have my name on a remark like that, praising the performance of the fighter. I mean, come on, it's pathetic. She has not been in office, or her husband has not been in office, and she has not been the first lady for nearly a decade, and yet she continues to live rent-free in these losers' heads.
Believe me, if Donald Trump is president again, at some point or another, that ugliness will touch all of our lives. And it will not matter what you look like, how you worship, who you love or how you vote. If you don't make 6 or 8 or 12 figures, if you're not famous, if you criticize or disagree with him in any way, if he doesn't view you as his equal or relevant to his ambitions, I promise you, he will not think about you when he gets into the Oval Office. Let me take a minute to help folks, especially the men in our lives, to get a better sense of what could happen if we keep dismantling parts of our reproductive care system piece by piece, as Trump intends to do. There are good reasons why so many women and physicians are horrified by what's happened since Donald Trump's justices overturned Roe v. Wade. We're seeing women scrambling across state lines to get the care they need. Just this week, a major medical journal reported that after Roe was overturned, infant mortality in this country rose, in large part because women are being forced to carry fetuses that won't survive to term. One woman spent 22 days in jail on murder charges after she miscarried in her own bathroom.
Obama would say, remember Barack Hussein Obama? Obama, you put a cocoon. You put a little cocoon around them. See, I would have been a wonderful automobile designer. And I just thought of it. Nobody ever says that. You know, I'm sort of a clean freak. I like clean. Do you ever see Washington, D.C.? Do you see what happened? For years, you watch companies move production from America down to Mexico. Mexico. Because I've done more for you than your parents, okay? Your parents are good. I'm not going to knock your parents, but I have been better to you than your parents.
Michelle Obama as a young student at Princeton University in the early 1980s.
There's an entire conspiracy theory about Michelle Obama being transgender. Have you seen that?
I've seen that. I've seen like, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes.
And it's
sick.
It's really ridiculous.
Some of the most powerful women, powerful dark-skinned black women, you know, Michelle Obama, Megan Thee Stallion, who else? Serena Williams, have been masculinized because of how powerful and how influential and because of how tall they are, because they're all tall women.
Initially, it can be triggering for women to hear those comments, but there's a way you need to like approach that without being transphobic in response. You don't want to also offend a whole other community.
Exactly.
While trying
because
to
there's nothing wrong with being
nothing
transgender.
wrong with being transgender. Yeah. Trying to use someone's identity as an insult is where the problem is.
Exactly.
Whether I was or wasn't, why are you trying to make that something that's about me? And
exactly.
Like my take from that was like, dude, like if he went and said that shit on his own platform, on his IG or something, dude, do whatever you want. But when you use like the UFC, the White House platform, you kind of like, you're pretty much including Dana and the president in whatever you do at that point.
I did not fuck with Josh Hokett's comment. I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole calling Michelle Obama man. Like
former president.
Am I gonna chuckle? Like, yeah, am I gonna chuckle at how crazy it is? Yeah, sure. Yeah. But it's like I don't fuck with that. Like no, like honestly, man, Obama served this country, and you can have your differences of opinion with whoever the sitting president is, but like they are serving this country. And
fans are requesting Josh Hokett to join comedy.
Josh, there's a lot of fans online that want to see Curtis Blades win. What's your message to those fans, and do you enjoy playing the villain?
They will ask why I gave a black guy a black eye. The simple answer is I'm full of hate because Curtis Blades was involved in Pizzagate. You sick bastard, you will pay. Am I right, Miami?
Remember what this guy did? He mocked Michelle Obama that is like this.
Michelle Obama is not a man. So with this comment and the other comment that this came from, I know Trumpers have this conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama is a man. And first of all, it's mean, and it's just the way people like that always treat black women because they're strong. And they're smart and intelligent, but that is not the case. I will stand up for Michelle Obama till the day that I die. That's a good woman, and actually, I wish she'd run for president, by the way. But I also want to say the burden of proof is on you. Prove that she's a man. I don't have to prove, or nobody has to prove that she's a woman, because she is a woman. She birthed children, and not only that, she came out of her mother as a woman. But not only that, remember Trump tried to say that Obama wasn't born here, and he didn't have to prove it, but he did prove it.
So now fans are saying UFC should fire this guy because he's not supposed to be on such a stage after mocking Michelle. This is what they are saying. They're saying the guy is terrible. The guy is very, very bad. The guy has
Calling Michelle Obama a former first lady, a man on live TV on the White House lawn, is so insanely fucking disrespectful.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
This is not liberal snowflake propaganda. There is a big difference between what this UFC fighter did and a comedian telling an offensive joke. You go to a comedy show understanding that the boundaries are going to be pushed. That is literally their job. In the words of the great late Patrice O'Neal, half the room should be in utter disgust, shock, and fucking hating your guts, and the other half should be dying of laughter. And if this was a regular UFC fight in like Abu Dhabi or some bullshit and he got on the mic and said that, whatever. He's just rage baiting, trying to be controversial, trying to be put on the next title card by Mr. Daddy Dana White. But you were on the White House lawn in an event that was already publicly ostracized because it feels like a circus act, but y'all are saying it represents freedom and everything that's good about America. Okay, cool. They were great fights, yes. But you're on the White House lawn and then you publicly insult a former first lady from 2 administrations ago? For fucking what? Roles reversed. What if the NBA in 8 years and 2 administrations hosts an NBA game on the White House lawn and then Victor Wembanyama gets on the mic and he says, yeah, well, Melania Trump, she's a dumb cow. That'd be fucked up.
Whether or not you love or hate the character that Josh Hockett plays, the fight that makes the most sense for him might actually be Alex Pereira. And although I don't believe the character he plays is the most tasteful or funny, I can't help but feel it was at least partially responsible for his rise to fame. And I could see him legitimately receiving a chance to chama on Pereira's mama in the next upcoming months.
Guess how much Josh Hockett lost after insulting First Lady Michelle Obama? Josh Hockett showed elite athletic talent from a young age. At 6, he became a U.S. youth wrestling champion. In high school, he won the 2016 CIF California State Championship, ranked number 3 nationally, and was also a key football player. He turned down top wrestling scholarships because Drexel University had no football program, and instead joined Fresno State as a walk-on. In college, he placed 5th at the NCAA Wrestling Championships and became an All-American, Fresno State's first in 16 years. After graduation, he signed with the NFL's San Francisco 49ers as an undrafted free agent but was cut within 2 years, later moving into MMA. With his wrestling background, he built a winning streak in Bellator and LFA, and in 2025 earned a UFC contract through Dana White's Contender Series. At the White House Freedom 250 event, he defeated Derek Lewis and entered the heavyweight top 5. He was set for major income growth from fights and endorsements, but after a controversial interview involving First Lady Michelle Obama, backlash led to multiple sponsors pulling out within 24 hours. The incident is estimated to have cost him over $1.5 million in direct and indirect income, leaving his net worth at around $1 million.
So after winning his UFC fight at the White House, Josh Hockett used that platform, used that moment to call Michelle Obama a man, which other than just not being funny is such a wasted moment. He could have used that platform, that moment, to call for unity, to call for respect, to talk about shared pride in his country and try to create some good, any good, but instead he used it to just make a dumb joke calling Michelle Obama a man. And from the people that say that us liberals have Trump derangement syndrome, the Obamas have been out of the White House for 10 years. Michelle Obama was never an elected official. She was first lady, and she was a great first lady, but she was never even an elected official. And you say that we're obsessed with Trump, you're still trying to talk about Michelle Obama. Come on. Just because her arms look better than yours does not mean she's a man, but it's just dumb. It's just cruel. And in a moment that could have been used for something good, that's how he chose to use it. So do better, people. Be better than that.
The issue for him is, what do you say? He could be a $3 or $4 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. If you didn't do these wild antics, could be a $6-7 million a year through endorsements. Nobody's endorsing the guy that says Michelle Obama's a man, whether they agree with it or not. They want no part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They want no part of it. All these big sponsors, Monster, Dodge, they're not touching it, dude. And now you're there. Be yourself. You can get more endorsement money. They have no choice but to give you big fights. It got you here, dude. I'm with it. You beat the system. But now we can see the real Josh. Great athlete, great fighter, good mindset, self-belief like a mother trucker. Be that guy.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think he painted himself too far into the corner now, especially when it comes to corporate sponsors and all that?
The Michelle Obama thing hurt him.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt him for a long time.
No, I ain't here to be political. This ain't supposed to be a political video, but I think what Josh Hokit said about Michelle Obama at Freedom 250 yesterday was one of the most desperate and just absolutely just dick riding, attention seeking moves I've ever seen anybody ever do in my life, bro. Because, like, that was just so uncalled for and so unnecessary. And it just screamed, I'm desperate to get the president's attention. I want him to notice me. I want him to laugh at me. Because why the fuck even bring something like that up, dude? You know, not only is that something that's entirely old as fuck, you know, washed out. That was something that was around over 10 years ago and has been proven multiple times to be false. But it's also just so uncalled for. Like, it just came out of left field. Like, nobody was even bringing up the Obamas. Why the fuck did you have to? It was just so stupid to me, man. It's so funny because you could tell who the edgy 12 to 15-year-old demographic that the UFC tries to hunt for is out there, because they're like, oh my god, I was laughing so hard. I fell off my couch. That was hilarious. That was edgy. The libtards aren't gonna like this one. But I've seen so many, like, right-wingers be like, that was just really unprofessional and unnecessary. Like, that was just stupid and uncalled for. It's not hard to have human decency, dude. He's probably gonna get hit, like, minimally with a giant fucking fat check of a fine, and that's the least that's gonna happen to him, dude. Because Dana White's not gonna fuck around with the negative attention that's gonna bring to his business, dude. And I get it, the UFC's mostly right-wing, right? It's oriented towards that demographic of people, but at the same time, there's just some lines you can't cross, and that's one of them. That's just something that's gonna bring negative attention to your business, and Dana White's not gonna fuck with losing that type of money.
Anyway, tell me what you think down in the comment. Do you think UFC should fire Josh Hokit after disrespecting Michelle Obama?
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.